Good morning once again, ladies and gentlemen. So we are going to the panel, which I will be hosting. The panel is going to be implemented. So we have a quite number of panelists that are going to join me in stage, where the first one I will call Dr. Eni to come forward on the stage. You can please give him some round of applause. Thank you. And then our next panelist will be Ms. Casey, if you can come as well on the stage. The third one will be Ms. Maumo, if you can come on the stage and join the team. Thank you. From WMO, if he can join us. Thank you, thank you. And then the fifth one is Mr. Stan Banda. If he's here, we request you to come and join the team as well. Thank you. It seems like our fifth panelist is not here. So before we continue, as it has been indicated, we were developing the framework for Zambia, where we were looking at the elements of water, weather, and climate services. So in my introduction, in terms of myself, I will just indicate that the framework was developed in order for us to combat the issues that are related to climate change in different sectors. So before we start with the questions or points for discussion, I will just request each and every panelist just to introduce themselves. Thereafter, we'll start with the agenda, which is related to the discussion points. Thank you. So I'll start with you, sir.
Okay, good morning. Standing African Regional Program Manager for the World Meteorological Organization. I'm located in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. I think this is enough for now.
Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Momo Mobila Kakoma, and I'm the Manager for Strategic Projects and Enterprise Development at Bongo Hive, which is an entrepreneurship, innovation, and technology hub based right here in Lusaka, Zambia. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Cassandra Matine, and I lead the team at AgriPredict. We are an agri-tech company, and we build digital tools for small-scale farmers. Thank you.
Morning, everyone. It is an honor to be here for this wonderful occasion. My name is Ani Ghosh. I lead the thematic cluster on climate information services and safety net of the AICCRA program.
Thank you. So the first question or point of discussion is in relation to the public and also the private sectors, which I will be asking about to Mrs. Stan. We here at Zambia, do we have a system in place, or is that structure which is in relation to combination or collaboration of private sector and also public in order for us to be able to implement the framework? So we just want to understand the relationship, if it's there, or are there any challenges that we might face during the implementation? Thank you. Mr. Stan, please. Sorry, Dr. Ernest.
Thank you so much. I think we're all aware the extreme weather and climate events we experience across the globe, and particularly in Africa. Just last week, I released or presented on behalf of the World Meteorological Organization the State of Climate in Africa Report 2024. And one of the issues that was highlighted has been the drought in Zambia. Last year we had state of emergency in Zambia. That presupposes there should be synergy, collaboration, cooperation among institutions to be able to deal with these issues. And so the public-private partnership becomes cardinal. And I do expect that, and I'm here to really appreciate, the organizations that are here. I had the introduction of some of our colleagues here from the World Bank and from other institutions. It is meet and proper for us to work together because climate is not something that you're considering just for Zambia. It's cross-border issue. And they have alluded to the fact that it's important for, let me just put a kind of caveat to this, particularly at the outset of the Global Framework for Climate Services. This was developed by WMO in 2013 and crystallized to become what it is through it's also fostered to work together, multi-sectoral, multidisciplinary in diverse ways, and all must work together to achieve this.
Thanks, Doc. And also just to indicate that in the framework, in terms of collaboration, and also during the consultations that we did indicate that it's very much important for stakeholders, private and also government, to work together. So thank you so much for that elaboration. Thank you. So my next, we would like to understand the issue of building data system that can actually enhance agricultural resilience during the climate scenarios or crises. Thank you. Over to you, Doc.
Thank you so much for the question. Let me rephrase that a bit based on the wonderful informative presentation that we had from the principal meteorologist, Dr. Lyson. Let's not call it a data system, let's call it an information system. So what are these information systems? So first of all, we need to understand that when we are talking about crisis-ready information system, they are not just for diagnostic, they are for supporting decisions. So take the example of IGAD's Climate Prediction Center's East Africa Hazard Watch. So they give very clearly traffic signals about what are the crises we are combating. Then one of the other points that came out quite frequently, also with Dr. Ernest, is it should be multi-sectoral. It's not about just one sector because climate hits all the sectors. So we need to really consider they should anticipate the risk. Example is for ARC, the Africa Risk Capacity Institutes. They have the platform that basically analyzes all this data and prepares the community, prepares the countries when the the crisis is going to hit, and then what are the anticipatory reactions that need to be there. There are a few other attributes for this kind of platforms. One is definitely accessibility and localization. So accessibility is important because we all remember what happened in Zambia last year. I think the electricity was cut down to 2 hours a day. Now, if we had to provide information through these kind of platforms, then it would be a risk, right? Because only 2 hours a day people have access to their, let's say, radio or TV, and they might choose to use something, choose to do something else during that time. So we need to have to know how we are reaching or how the end users are accessing. The key point here, what I am trying to emphasize is these information systems need to be not for observing the crisis, but how they are helping us to avert the crisis. So they should be built in a way that they are able to support the community to go there. And that's why I was saying that we can...
Just to indicate that on the framework, there is an issue of capacity building, whereby data collection and also issue of building those information systems should be in place. So and also to farmers so that they're able. So my next speaker, or what we want to know about, or from your institution, we want to understand the technologies that you have, and also how can the farmers use it. So it's more about technologies that are there in place, and then how the farmers can be able, and other stakeholders be able to use them. Thank you.
Thank you. AgriPredict builds tools for small-scale farmers, especially those in the rural areas. And our mission really is around improving the access they have to information around agriculture. And we've just had a great conversation around access. So what we do is we leverage technology, specifically AI and machine learning, and we have developed a platform or tools that are easily accessible via USSD and mobile application that offers 5 services, including weather and early warning system, which allows them to get this vital information around weather information. So the importance about USSD is that any farmer in the rural parts of the country can access using a short code on 2 of our biggest networks in the country, and they're able to access weather information. So right now they can get 96-hour weather, 16-day weather, 30-day weather, and also what we're calling crop weather, which is a combination of extension and weather, meaning they get weather information in context of what they're growing. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ms. Casey. So I think from what she's indicating there, she's indicating that we do have some technologies that can assist into the implementation of framework. And then thank you so much. So our next question is going to Ms. Maumo, where we want to understand different ways that Zambia can innovate in terms of the technology hubs, the incubators, for them to be able to translate climatic data and also to put it into practice. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much for the question. So the innovation ecosystem is made up of several players. And similar to what the first speaker said, there needs to be collaboration amongst all of them. And that's where we stand as Bongo Hive, but also any other incubator and accelerator to kind of pull all these different resources to support the startups, the people that are innovating to provide solutions for these challenges. So one way that we support as incubators and accelerators is support the startups that come up with these solutions. And AgriPredict was actually one example, and also Green Giraffe as well. So when we worked with AgriPredict, they came out of an ideation session and a hackathon. So we do encourage a lot of those, because to solve the problems that are going on in the agriculture industry and many other industries, we need a lot of ideas, thousands of ideas, to come up with the best ideas that will actually solve the problem. So with AgriPredict, for example, came out of I would say, pool of farmers to test their product, to pilot their solution, and to continually iterate to the point that, and grow. So these are some of the opportunities that we offer. Green Giraffe also came out of an idea jam, an idea session, and then further supported them, connecting to different partners within the ecosystem to be able to further develop their ideas. So I think that's one way to continue to have these idea sessions, supporting these startups to develop these tools. And I think also, so I think, maybe let me stop there for now.
No, that's fine, thank you. So before we proceed, I see that Mr. Stan from Agriculture is here. So I will just invite him to come to the stage. Thank you. So the question that we had was for the first round, and then I will also just give one to Mr. Stan with regards to the participation of Zambia. So what we would like to find out from you, sir, we want to understand the issues that are related to climate change, in terms of information, and also in terms of how is it affecting the sector, and then what is it that you would like the framework, though we do have action projects or objectives that we have indicated that will cater your ministry. So we just want to understand from your side as well in terms of information, how to collect it, and also what are the issues that you face in the ministry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, moderator. In the first place, my name is Stanley Banda. I'm coming in from the Ministry of Agriculture. Moderator, I would like to apologize for coming late. Just as I was coming, there was an urgent issue that popped up at the office and I had to attend to it. Apologies for that. As regards to your question, I would like to state that agriculture is one of the important economic pillars in our country. I think it employs the bulk of our people, especially in the rural areas. But as you might know, the sector is one of those that are very, very vulnerable and sensitive to the effects of climate variability and ultimately climate change. Of late and recently, we have experienced very devastating effects of climate variability, such as droughts. We have experienced floods in some cases, extreme weather events, incidences of pest attacks. All these have got a telling effect on the sector. Now, the ministry has not sat behind, but working in collaboration with other partners, we have tried to come up with adaptation activities within the ministry so that we can make the sector, we can make the farming community more resilient to these effects. So some of the interventions that we've come up, of course, it has been in the area of coming up with appropriate seed varieties that could withstand some of these adverse effects, of course, based on the climatic events in certain regions of our country. Our country is divided in 3 regions, which have got slightly different climatic conditions. So in that area, we are pushing forward to try to make the sector resilient. We are also trying to look at the effects of droughts, dwindling water resources, both surface water and underground the water resources, by trying to come up with the locally led irrigation initiatives, coming up with dams, as well as irrigation technologies that are more suited to the farming communities. Again, in terms of land degradation, we are scaling up the issue of promoting climate-smart agriculture technologies, sustainable agriculture technologies. All that is aimed at ensuring that we make the sector resilient in the face of climate challenges. But at the center of all this, I think the sector needs the availability of climate information. We cannot plan for all these interventions in the absence of climate information. That's why as a ministry, as government in general, we are at the disposal of all the stakeholders. On our own, it could be a challenge, so we need to be working in a collaborative manner to address some of these issues. Thank you, Moderator.
Thank you. And also, just to confirm with the framework from what we have indicated, that we did put emphasis on the issues that are affecting agriculture. And then one of them, in the course, we have indicated that the issue of transferring information to the farmers is very important. And also, we also have touched on the issues that is relating to water harvest and also practical usage of systems that can be used by the farmers and forecasting in order for them to be able to understand before they actually plant or actually when they are planning in terms of growing the crops and also not affecting the environment. So my next point of discussion is gonna go to Doc Ernest there again, just to provide us with the importance and benefits of the framework, and then touching base on the 5 pillars. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Moderator. And it's quite obvious the benefits of this framework as downscaled from the global framework for climate services to the national level, one of which is bridging the science and what I would call socioeconomic benefits. This is a science-based action that helps us to have decisions of importance. Like my previous speaker mentioned, they want to take decisions based on evidence-based science. And this is critical. And also, we consider the importance in relation to disasters, the early warning for all, the framework to allow the synergy required for this national framework to the national adaptation plan of the country, as well as the National Planning Commission. So it is important in terms of doing things rightly when early warning is at stake. Another importance of this is that we want to enhance agricultural productivity and food security. And when we do have adequate information, that helps farmers to do the right thing. We mentioned the water resources management. When there is flooding, can we conserve the water for use? When there is drought, can we manage that water adequately, optimizing the use of the water? That's another aspect of health. Sometimes when it floods, flood water contaminates, and that impacts health. Can we manage these floods to the extent that we don't see cholera and other forms of diseases, including malaria? What about the energy sector? The information provided supports, particularly at a time when in tropical Africa we have enough sunshine. Can we harness clean energy in using the solar to really power our activities? Even in transportation, as easy as everyday people go out, you find out that there are days, I don't know, I'm not living here. There are times you have fog, that inhibit transportation. Can we get this information quite early and be able to use that? So these are some of the importance of this framework. And looking at the pillars associated with it here, the presentation we had has indicated the importance of the user interface platform. Yesterday, I was intrigued by my experience in Chibombo, where we had to sit with the farmers and other stakeholders to have interaction, to have a conversation. We listen to them to know exactly what they want. It's one thing as a provider of an information to provide information that could be generic, and another to know tailored information that the user community do want. So the user interface platform allows us to do that. Another one is the monitoring and observation. That is the foundation for all the discussions we're having. If there are no adequate network of stations to have in-situ data for analysis, we can do nothing. We cannot do prediction, we cannot do it timely and accurately. So this is a critical aspect. I'll look at the third part, which is related to the research, forecasting and modeling. I won't go into modeling just like what it was mentioned, because now with technology we need to add the AI and ML to that. But at the end of the day is that we want research conducted to understand contemporary ways of doing things, and as well as predicting well in advance, either short-range forecasting or seasonal forecasting or long-term projection. Let me come to the core of the whole. That is Climate Services Information System that embodies everything we're talking about. Because providing climate information, I'm not providing services. But when I tell him, look, you have seen rain, but this rain is a false rain. Can you wait for another 3-4 days to see if this rain? I'm providing additional information. That is an advisory service discussing, is the capacity building. If you don't build the capacity of people to make this observation, to make this research, and come use, then training the people adequately in contemporary technologies to be able to deliver. Thank you.
Thank you, Doc. Okay, thank you. I was just checking before we continue if we still have some minutes left for us. So, thank you for that elaboration and the benefits, and also the important thing that needs to be taken into consideration. So, my next question will go to Ms. Cassie, so that we can understand what are challenges have you faced in scaling climate change, climate-based innovations, and how can stakeholders collaborate to overcome them? Thank you.
Thank you. I'm really enjoying the conversations on this panel, so thank you. So we've managed to grow our user base. So we have over 329,000 farmers on our platform that represent over 5.4 million visits on the platform, with weather being the most requested, especially in the last year and a half, given the drought that we've experienced. But to scale, there's a few barriers. So one of them is poor internet connectivity, connectivity in the rural areas. That means that not everybody is able to access it at the exact time that they need it. And I'm glad that there's a lot of conversations and work that's being done around that with both the networks, and I know the government is also working around that. And then another point is technology is fantastic. I love it, but it cannot work in isolation, as the conversations that we've heard so far. So we still need boots on the ground, and that opens up opportunities for collaborations, and I'm again happy that we're having this conversation. with, for example, the ministries, extension officers, and at the bottom of all this, it requires money. So I think the important part is for all of us to have a shared investment for what we're all trying to achieve. Thank you.
Thank you. My next question will go to Dr. Ene. We just want to understand the experience that you have with regards to climatic data and also issues that or challenges that you learned from different countries, and also just to say what was the solutions, and also how can we use it in order to benefit or smallholder farmer to benefit out of it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's a very good question. And as part of the AICCRA program, I had the privilege of learning from different national hydrometeorological agencies as well as the different, regional climate centers. So I'll build my responses with on what Dr. Ernest was saying. He mentioned about, for example, the lack of systematic observation facilities. That's an investment area that needs to get more funding, and hopefully the framework will enable that. But there are also interesting solutions that we saw in other countries. So there are a couple of them. For example, we have something called volunteer, climate observer. They basically have very low cost, rain bucket. But the problem is to get the data from them to the meteorological agency. So what AICCRA has done in other countries is basically digitize that process. So, it's a physical plus digital model where you are using a simple app, $2,000 for a weather station. You just need to spend few cents to get the data. Similarly, there are emerging technologies like 3D printed weather station. That basically is much cheaper option, and that allows the countries to build their own weather stations in a very limited cost. So those are some of the learnings that we are seeing from other countries. One other area I wanted to two other areas I wanted to very quickly touch upon. One is the user interface that was mentioned. As part of the AICCRA program, we have been also developing National Agriculture Data Hub. In Zambia, this is also in the making, and we believe that in line with the national framework, it will be able to address a lot of the requirements of the user interface development. And the last one is around the training. I'm just going to emphasize one example on enabling the farmer on how to interpret climate information. So these are some of the learnings from other countries as well as from Zambia that I think that we should be watching out for.
Thanks, Doc, for that elaboration. We have actually come to the end of this discussion. I see she has been indicating that we should finish. So thank you so much for joining me on stage in discussion of the climatic issues. Thank you.